y yo vine para atrás. Chequea este flow que te no he copiado nada. Avisando no más greasy. Tengo un par de tipas que no lo fuerza tan easy. Dame un beso, olvídate de eso, lo que quiero es sexo. Estoy en el bloque, prendo un Dodge y me voy en el coche. Regresé con mi equipo blanco, peligroso, no perico. A la niggas con mi chico, cara bonita, no sencillo. Muchos me dicen clásico, es peligroso, un maniático. Y todos ustedes son mi hijo.
Yeah, sandstorm. Yeah, put your hands up. Classical. Bob your head to this. SC Cap G. Hey, it's me. Stuntin' on my grizzy, stuntin' on my grizzy. Yeah, you know how I do. Yeah, stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy. Yeah, stuntin' on my grizzy. Yeah, you know how I do. Yeah, stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy. You know how I do. Yeah, stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy. Yeah, you know how I do. Yeah, stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy. I'm stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy. I'm stuntin' on my grizzy. Come in the club, yeah, I'm high as height. Seeing all the flashing lights, it's Vegas night. Step through, suited up like a crime fight. You know that I wanna leave with a dime, right? Spanish, Latina, tengo la llave. Wanna roll Cap G, you can come find me. VIP drinks free, that's where I be. Yeah, I roll with them boys, not Tommy. Straight tone, got me in the zone. You texting your man, once you get off the phone. I'm in here looking for a dime to bone and tell him I can spit on some reggaeton. Stuntin' on my grizzy, stuntin' on my grizzy. Yeah, you know how I do, yeah, stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy, stuntin' on my grizzy. Yeah, you know how I do, yeah, stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy, stuntin' on my grizzy. You know how I do, yeah, stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy, stuntin' on my grizzy. Yeah, you know how I do, yeah, stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy, I'm stuntin' on my grizzy, stuntin' on my grizzy, I'm stuntin' on my grizzy,
Oye, dime quién responde, ese culo tuyo enorme. Freca necia, cara bonita, labio de fresa. Y yo vine para atrás, chequea este flow que te no he copiado nada. Avisando no más greasy, tengo un par de tipas que no lo fuerza tan easy. Dame un beso, olvídate de eso, lo que quiero es sexo. Estoy en el bloque, prendo un Dodge y me voy en el coche. Regresé con mi equipo blanco, peligroso, no perico. A la niggas con mi chico, cara bonita, no sencillo. Muchos me dicen clásico, es peligroso, un maniático. Y todos ustedes son mi hijo, cause I make it look easy, frito.
Stuntin' on my grizzy, stuntin' on my grizzy. Yeah, you know how I do, yeah, stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy, stuntin' on my grizzy. Yeah, you know how I do, yeah, stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy, stuntin' on my grizzy. You know how I do, yeah, stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy, stuntin' on my grizzy. Yeah, you know how I do, yeah, stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy, I'm stuntin' on my grizzy, stuntin' on my grizzy, I'm stuntin' on my grizzy,
Yeah.
Hey, class, they ain't hear nothing like this.
Hell no, my nigga.
Yeah. That's when the different cultures collide.
They know.
Yeah. Sandstorm, classical.
This world is divided. Too separate to be one. No protectors here. This world will fall. Like all the others. For Darkseid, I have turned 100,000 worlds to dust. And when this world is scorched, all of existence shall be mine.
Darkseid is here, and he's not taking any freaking shit from anybody. What do you guys think of the most recent updates to the Justice League showing Darkseid? I'm going to start off with Danny. Danny, what do you think?
I'm loving all the changes I'm seeing. I mean, honestly, like between the tone, the colors, the grading of the film. I mean, obviously the look of Darkseid and Steppenwolf. I mean, yeah, it's got me really hyped up for this one.
All right. What about you, Tank? So obviously, it's been teased quite a bit. Now that you've seen some pretty substantial footage that wasn't just a second or two of Darkseid, what is your thoughts?
Oh, I loved it. Like Darkseid is probably like one of my favorite like Superman DC villains. So it's gonna be great to see him on stage. Like I about passed out when I saw it. I mean, all these little mini trailers have been better than the whole original Justice League movie combined.
Right? Now here begs the question though. Are we dealing with a situation where the hors d'oeuvres are going to be the better than the actual full meal? And then yeah, we hear you, Cliff Bravo. We can't wait either. 7 days from now, the Justice League comes out. 7 days from now, it is going to be live. So what do you think? You guys think that, are you concerned that we're seeing all the best parts in the teasers?
I'll take this one here. I mean, I don't think so. I think what Zack Snyder is trying to get his point across is that he wants this to feel different tone-wise from what we already know, what we've seen. And I think he's just kind of just whetting the appetite to make sure that people go into this with an open mind and saying, like, yeah, this is going to be not what you saw 2 years ago with the Josh Whedon cut. This is going to be totally different. Here's a little snippet there. Because he really hasn't been having – there haven't really been a lot of trailers, a little teaser here and there, just spotlights, if you will. But, yeah, I think we got – for 4 hours, there better be a lot more changes in that movie, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, there's a lot to unpack from it. I can tell you that for me, I'm really hoping that it doesn't disappoint. For me, I feel like that we have seen a pretty good narrative of how it's going to play out, and I frankly think it's going to be excellent. It cannot be anywhere near the turd that we got in 2017. Tank, when you first saw it in 2017, were you as disappointed as I was? The Justice League Josh Whedon version?
I wasn't as disappointed because I still enjoyed it, but I mean, I know you mainly just hate Henry Cavill's face and covering the mustache. I mean, I mean, like I said, it's like a call last time. I wish Darkseid would have been in the first one because Steppenwolf is not that big of a bad where it takes the whole Justice League to defeat him. So I mean, it was definitely wasn't up to the standards that I was wanting it to be, but I still enjoyed it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But I do think because like I say, this is gonna be 4 hours. Like if they said it was only gonna be like extra 30 minutes or something, then I would be worried about this. But it's gonna be 4 hours. That's almost like 2 hours more than the original.
Yeah, actually, here's a Justice League fact sheet on that. So what we're gonna see out of that 4 hours is about 28 minutes that we saw in the Josh Whedon cut that was intertwined throughout the movie. So we have about 3.5 hours of all new footage, all of it filmed by Zack Snyder, and all of it was his original cut, which was heavily refilmed and reshoots. And this is why we got Henry Cavill with that ridiculous CGI on his mustache lip. So, Danny, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the film itself, I mean, I don't know, because my only worry here is that it's a 4 hour long movie. I don't know how many times I've watched a movie that long. Maybe Scarface, right? We talked about that a few weeks ago.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, I mean,
that you didn't fall asleep on.
I don't know. I didn't fall asleep on, exactly. I don't know. I mean, I kind of wonder to myself, like, now kind of looking at hindsight 2020, but I kind of wonder, like, should have DC have kind of spread this all out, this universe that they were building? We went from Man of Steel to BVS, right? And then we got Wonder Woman in between, and then we got Justice League, right? Now, so I was just wondering if they kind of followed the Marvel footprint with that, as far as getting each character their own spotlight, their own movie, would we need a 4 hour movie to kind of explain everything that's going on in this movie?
Yeah. That's an interesting point of view. But here's the thing too. And I think, we have to understand that a few things. One, Zack Snyder's original cut, from what I understood, was over 3 hours long. So the assembly cut, which was, not near completion at all, included, a very long cut and a lot of the different things that we're seeing is part of that cut, but also there's some differences, right? And so let's dive real quickly into some of those big differences because there was reshoots. Now, Tank, from what you understand, the reshoots are centered a lot in the nightmare sequence that Batman experiences, where Darkseid has taken over taken over the world, or Earth, and everything. The shit has hit the fan, right? Now, what are your thoughts about them bringing in the Joker as played by Jared Leto?
I'm cool with it. I mean, because I liked Jared Leto's Joker because I understood what they were trying to do with him, and also, I mean, he doesn't have the damage tattoo on his face from what I've seen, so that's the major upgrade.
That's a huge upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, and there's also this is gonna be the first time that we actually see Ben Affleck's Batman and Jared Leto's Joker in a scene together, because before, even in the Suicide Squad, they weren't together. It was just Batman on the top of the car.
Gotcha.
So it'd be good to see them. It'd be good to see them in the same screen. So I mean, it looks like I'm really see how they explain how. Hopefully they explain how Joker and Batman are now working together in that nightmare world. Yeah,
absolutely. Danny, what are your thoughts? Do you think that this is like a kind of like a giveaway scene, or do you think that we'll have some substantial, I guess, will it flow with the story?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. I mean, it's hard to really say with 4 hours. I mean, it can really mean anything. I mean, it could be everything we just saw in the trailer now, right? With added maybe a couple minutes to it, or it could be like a plot line that they were setting up for the possible second Justice League movie that they're not going to do now. So, I mean, I think we just got to go into this here just saying hey, let's appreciate that we're kind of getting this one way or the other. It may not all kind of come to an end like we would hope it to. We just should just say, hey, we fought for this, we got it, we petitioned for it, and to see how it goes from there. But I am excited about that Jared Leto Joker, though. I will say that I saw a picture of it, and his outfit is really cool. He's got a SWAT team vest on, but he's got badges all on there as well. Nice. So I love that part about Zack Snyder's game. He just brings so much detail to every character he does. I mean, say what you will about the movies, but casting, costume design, all that stuff, honestly, I always give it up to DC over the MCU movies. I always feel like they got that much more taste and personality to them.
Nice. Yeah, I agree with you. I think, there's a lot of grit to it. You know what I mean? It's just more grittier. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. And so, definitely agree with you there. I'm excited about it. I think I'm hopeful that Jared Leto's Joker comes in, and it's part of this whole, narrative. They're in a post-apocalyptic there you go, world where Darkseid and his minions are running shit, right? And so it's gonna be really cool to kind of see through that. I do have. Before we move on to the next part of this conversation, I do have a question. Your opinion. We'll start with Tank. Does the actual nightmare sequence with Batman, does that last longer than 10 minutes?
Yeah, I think it is, because if you saw in one of the Darkseid scene, they actually show Batman and the Flash, and Flash has that the armor on. Mm-hmm. So I think it's I mean, it might not be too much longer than 10 minutes. It might be kind of be the Krypton scene in Man of Steel, where it was 20, 30 minutes, right. I want to say. I think it won't be an hour or anything like that, but I think it's going to be maybe around 20, 30 minutes.
Okay. What about you, Danny? What are your thoughts? Do you think they're going to spend some time there?
Tank kind of brings up a good point about the whole scene from Man of Steel with Krypton at the beginning. That was one of my favorite scenes in that movie there. One of my favorite scenes.
It was.
I would say I agree with Tank. I think it might be maybe a little bit longer. But now that Tank kind of mentioned, I really hope it's the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And it opens it up that way. That would be yes. Because that opening with Batman in the original cut, when he's dealing with the bank robber with that pillow of money that he has, it just seems so corny. I'd love to get that nightmare scene right away because that's what I'm most excited about.
Yeah.
This new cut.
Yeah, that was that was trash. That whole scene, that was trash. I mean, it was so.
Nice way to put it.
First of all, the effects look terrible. The parademons did not at all like put any fear in anybody's minds. They look like a bunch of freaking buffoons, right? And so, I didn't like the way they portrayed it. It was like not really good at all. And so yeah, so I'm definitely excited to see how it becomes more like, ruthless, which is what the parademons are supposed to be. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely interested in that. I personally think that they will spend some time fleshing out that whole nightmare scenario. So I believe that we're going to see some substantial footage. I believe we're probably looking in a 30-40 minute range. And I believe that they're going to put a whole chapter into it as well. So I'm looking forward to that. I think it's going to be very interesting to see that. So let's do this. I want to play this a couple of clips from the most recent releases for highlighting the characters, specifically Superman and Batman. I want you guys to take a look at this and let me know your thoughts. So everybody, we're gonna go ahead and play this Batman and Superman trailer right now. So just stand by and we'll take a peek at it.
Sandstorm. Yeah. Put your hands up. Let's go. Bob your head and see catchy. Hey. Yeah, sandstorm. Yeah. Hey, yeah, sandstorm. Yeah.
This world is divided. Too separate to be one. No protectors here. This world will fall. Like all the others. For Darkseid. I have turned 100,000 worlds to dust. And when this world is scorched, all of existence shall be mine.
Yeah. Yes.
No. Actually, I'm shaking my head like I agree with you. Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's one of his strong suits. 100%. Well, I was actually one that found out. You're hearing this first here, Later Productions. We found out about it first. I was actually watching Tom and Jerry, minding my business, and then Lord and behold, Justice League. I'm just kidding, guys. No.
Oh, yeah, real quick, they didn't hear me earlier, so let me just repeat myself. Real quick, the Justice League Snyder Cut was leaked under Tom and Jerry. If you have HBO Max, Tom and Jerry, the movie came out a few weeks ago, and what happened was people ended up coming up, and what happened was they were expecting Tom and Jerry. And Danny, walk us through what happened.
Well, I was watching Tom and Jerry, minding my own business. And suddenly Justice League came on. I called Tank up. Tank told everybody, and it got shut down before I could finish the movie. No, guys, that did not happen. That did not happen there. But yeah, it was just a weird situation there. I mean, I kind of wish I was not working that day when that happened. But apparently a lot of people got to see a good chunk of the movie, and then, Warner Brothers kind of figured out their boo-boo, and they fixed it, and now they got to wait like the rest of us do. Sorry, guys. March 18th.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Hey, from what I heard, though, there were people that actually they were able to see probably 45 minutes, almost an hour, right,
Yeah.
Kate?
Yeah, I heard it was an hour. It was like an hour before they realized, oh, this is we messed up.
Yeah, we messed up really big. Someone lost their job at the HBO Max tech support team that was supposed to load the movie on the 18th and not under Tom and Jerry, okay? Now, really quick, two things. One, let me just say, for those of you that are just coming in, welcome everyone. I see you, Maura. Welcome. Bueller One, welcome John, Cliff Bravo. Appreciate you guys. Alo Lopez, what's up? Everyone out there, thank you guys for joining us. If you can hear me, just give us a shout. John's saying he can't hear me, but I think he might be behind on when I wasn't being heard earlier. So that guy's going to lose his job. We know that that's not going to even be the case. So all right. So come next week, right? It's going to be a panel, a special Friday night episode of the House of Fandom, and we are going to have a packed agenda because we're going to go over probably one or two chapters in each episode. We'll be bringing back the Tank. We'll be bringing back Danny. Kyle, who is my permanent co-host and has been out on paternity leave, will be joining us on that panel. We'll also be bringing in guest co-host Mello from Wisconsin. He'll be checking in as well. And we may actually have some guests, very special guests calling in as well. So I'm really excited about that. But let's talk about our next topic. Okay, so let's dive into another movie that's coming out actually on HBO Max that I am super excited about. I'm really excited about the new Godzilla vs. Kong. What are you guys' thoughts on that? I'll kick it off, Danny. What are your thoughts on this? Have you seen some of the footage, and are you interested in watching it? Are you excited?
I'm very excited, honestly. I mean, I like the new takes on Godzilla and King Kong. I really like the King Kong one. But like I was too young for when these movies came out. Like originally when the King Kong and Godzilla duked it out all those years ago. So I'm
too. By the way, came out in the '60s. All right, I was born in the '70s.
I think we're gonna need a fact check on that one for Clark. I don't know about that one, but no, I mean I'm actually really pumped about it. I mean, come on, two big monsters. I mean, they're fighting on a naval ship in the trailer. Like, what are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's it. Take my money.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Listen, the effects are great. And here's the even better news. They don't have to take your money because if you got the subscription, you're watching it at home like the rest of us. So, take. Do you have any interest in watching this?
I didn't at first because like this kind of same thing. Like it wasn't like a big thing that I watched when I was younger at all. But I did see the last like the Kong Skull Island, and I like that. The trailers like make it look dope, like especially like with them fighting and the Godzilla's laser fire breath, whatever it is. That one scene where Kong is jumping down there as like kind of big old wannabe Thor axe, like, and it stops right before he hits him.
Mm-hmm.
So the trailer has me excited.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it has me excited too. I am super excited. I understand there'll be some twists and turns, with who exactly is Godzilla in this one here. Could it be an imposter? I guess we'll find out when it comes out. I do want to know. I would like to know. Tank, did you see the most recent one, the Godzilla King of the Monsters? I know you said you saw Kong Skull Island, but did you watch that one?
No, I didn't see the
yeah, if you get a chance, take a look at it. It ties in perfectly with Kong, and it actually was a pretty good. I enjoyed it. What did you think of it, Danny?
I'm sorry, what was that? Lost you there for a second.
No worries. We're just doing a show right now. So if you're welcome back, everybody, welcome back, Danny. All right, now it's Godzilla King of the Monsters. Have you seen it, and did you like it?
I did. Godzilla King of the Monsters. I mean, that one, I believe that's the sequel to the original one that came out.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Yeah. That one, I don't know. That one was, I didn't like it as much as the first one. I'll be honest with you. I mean, there's some parts I did, like the extra monsters that he was battling and stuff like that. But I don't know. I kind of like the vibe of the first one where like the army was kind of chasing after Godzilla. They didn't know what they were fighting.
Right.
But it was actually, I feel like it was too long as well, too. Not enough Godzilla, too much people talking.
All right, fair enough. For me, I enjoyed the whole MonsterVerse or whatever they want to call it. I do think that there were some issues with pacing in the film where it kind of dragged on. So I definitely hear you there, Danny. Without a doubt, it could use more monsters and less talking. We're not paying for actors to quote Shakespeare here, right here. No, we're here to see monsters beat the shiz out of each other. All right, so. A couple of things I want to ask you guys, with regards to the next topic of discussion, which is our review of Coming to America. Before we get into the review, okay, I wanted to ask you both a question. Did you guys see the first one recently, or did you see it when you were younger?
Oh, I definitely saw that when I was younger.
Okay.
Like, hands down.
Did you see it recently, though, or did you just, like, to catch up, or did you watch it recently?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I always got tons of memories about that movie, but obviously time doesn't exactly work that way when it comes to, like, how well you remember it.
Sure.
So I definitely watched it again, and then I decided I wanted to watch Coming to America 2 right after.
Okay, fair.
Like, I wanted it all to be fresh.
Right. Okay, fair enough. Very good. And what about you, Tank? How about you?
Yeah, I watched it when I was younger, of course, and I hadn't seen it in a while. And then I want to say maybe 3 weeks to like a month ago when I realized it was coming out, then the second one was coming out soon. I was like, let me refresh my memory.
Yeah.
As Danny said, refresh it.
Yep.
And then I rewatched it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the same thing for me. I ended up watching the first one, and then a few weeks later, the second one dropped on Amazon Prime. So let me just refresh everyone's memory by playing the trailer to Coming to America 2, and then when we get back from the trailer, we're gonna go ahead and deep dive into what we all thought. Does this new Eddie Murphy sequel to the beloved classic Coming to America, does it shine or does it not? Let's take a look at the trailer now.
You must heed my words before I'm gone, my son. Now, you will be king. But the throne must pass to a male heir. Hakim, it appears you have a son. He must be found.
Prepare the royal jet. We are going back to America.
Oh, hell no, Your Majesty.
Come on! I'm back! Say it again! Feel right in this mother... Feel good in this mother... My whole hood in this mother... Come on!
I'm the king of this shop.
That's funny in hell!
Well. Say it again.
It is so good to see you.
Well, I be damn. Look who done come up in here.
Hey, it's Kunta Kinte and Ebola.
Famine and Blood Diamond.
Nelson Mandela and Winnie.
Those hungry babies with the flies on the face.
Hey, oh, that's too much. Now, you stepped over the line. Now, we won't be talking that kind of shit about the hungry babies. You're going to have to get out of my chair.
Politically incorrect.
So what you doing back here, Hotel Rwanda?
I'm back! Say it again!
And we are back, everybody. We are back after watching the trailer to Coming to America Part 2, the sequel to the beloved classic. So let's just dive right into it. The House of Fandom review is back, and we're gonna review the sequel to Coming to America. It came out in 1988. So just to kind of bring you all to through memory lane here, when this movie came out, or actually when it was filming, I was living in Queens. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a history lesson here. I actually lived in Queens and Jackson Heights, Queens, and I actually was on the set of McDowell's when they were filming. And so we had ditched school. It was circa 1987, winter 1987, and it was on Queens Boulevard. And so, I didn't get to see Eddie Murphy, but they were filming, but it was right there. It was a Wendy's at one time, and they converted it to a McDowell's. And so, obviously, we knew that they were filming a movie. We didn't know exactly what the movie was about. Obviously, when the movie came out, it was a great movie. So let me just kick us off by saying the first movie is classic Eddie Murphy. It's amazing, star-studded cast. Arsenio Hall shines in this movie in multiple roles. Eddie Murphy, Arsenio Hall, Eric LaSalle from ER, but also he has directed several things. Let's get your soul glow, let it shine through. Oh yeah! All right. Anyway, so he was great, but John Amos from Good Times plays the dad, and the actress who plays Lisa, just a great cast, and of course the great James Earl Jones as well as the king, and so I loved that movie. So I want to make sure everybody knows that I loved the movie. I thought it was great. And so for me, it does have a little bit of a sentimental, value there. You know what I mean? Like, because it does bring me back to my childhood. I was young. I was probably, I think, in 1987, I was probably just turned 14 years old. So that's that. Now, I am just going to leave it there, and I want to pass it along to Tank and tell me what your memories were of the first Coming to America.
Well, I was 3 in 1987.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. Between him spacing out and you being a smartass, it's okay. It's okay. We're fine.
Bro.
Let's keep going. Go ahead. 3 years old, and you're watching it, of course. Yeah.
So no, I don't remember what age I did watch it. I probably was young because my mom didn't care about if I watched R-rated movies because I was a good kid. I didn't go around cussing in front of people. But yeah, so I don't remember what age I watched, but I mean, I remember, it was I found what I could at that age. I could understand was hilarious.
Right. Oh yeah, of course.
You don't understand everything in an R-rated movie.
Right. So when you saw it recently, did it hold up for you, or like what were your thoughts?
100%. Yeah, it still hold up. It was still just as funny as that. Because like I said, Eddie Murphy. He's not as prevalent now as he was back then, but he's still hilarious. Arsenio Hall is hilarious. The barbershop scene is still the best.
Oh yeah, the multiple scenes there was amazing. I agree. All right, so it holds up for you, probably just as much as it did for me. Danny, what were your memories of Coming to America, the first one, and as you revisited it, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, kind of like what Tank said. Like Tank said what he was 3. I guess I must have been 2 then. So, as I got to see it when I was a little bit older, honestly, I think my first memory of watching that movie was with my parents kind of watching it, and I'm kind of like in the room kind of sneaking in. I sit on the couch, and then earmuffs. I don't know if you guys had that when you were a kid, like when your parents watching TV, they put the earmuffs on you when something bad's happened. So I didn't get some of those parts of it there. So when I got to watch it, later on, and then recently this past week for the show, man, I was laughing my ass off. I could not help myself there because, like, I'm more of a fan of, like, Beverly Hills Cop and, like, all those movies that Eddie Murphy, all those other classics. He said 48 Hours. But, like, getting to watch, like,
Trading Places,
Coming to America Now. Yeah. Oh, gosh. And
Can't
that's an
forget
Easter
that.
egg in the movie, too.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize there was an Easter egg in Coming to America. They were in.
Yeah. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. All right. We'll get into it. Absolutely. Right. Well, but so it was great. It was still good.
Oh my gosh, it was fantastic. I laughed my butt off there. Hey, real quick before we move on, I want to ask a question. Actually, Maura actually wants a question in the comments here because you mentioned that you got to see the making of the movie. She wants to know if you are in the credits, Clark.
Maura, I am unfortunately not in the credits. At the time, I wasn't a member of the Screen Actors Guild, but unfortunately, no, I wasn't. I was more or less a thug at that time. A nice thug, nevertheless. I kid. But yeah, I mean, listen, if you're just joining us, we're in the middle of our review. We're about to deep dive into the review of Coming to America 2. We just covered, what we thought of the first one. It sounds like we're all unanimous. What's the word I'm looking for? Thank you. What's wrong with me today, man? Jeez, dude, what is going on? Yeah, man, we are totally that word, and so we all agree that we all loved it, right? Right? We did. And Maura, yes, SAG now, Screen Actors Guild. No, not yet. I don't think so. I'm trying to get in there though. We're trying to break in there. They wouldn't have me, when I came knocking on the Hollywood's door. So we're making Hollywood come to us. So anyway, but yeah, go ahead.
It's funny that they turned a Wendy's into a McDonald's when they just could have took a McDonald's, because that's what it was supposed to be.
Well, absolutely, exactly. But
they probably turned them down.
But I have a feeling they probably did. They probably did. So all right. So which brings us to the review of Coming to America. So let's just kick it off and let's talk before Maura is really getting funny out there. She got jokes today, Maura. You got jokes. Unanimous. Okay, Stephanie D. All right. You guys never got tongue tied before? Oh, yeah. Jeez, on air. All right. So all right. So let's kick it off and let's try to do this in a civilized manner. Okay. All right. We're gonna kick this off. Tank, what did you like about Coming to America 2?
I mean, I like that it was. I mean, I like it was called Coming to America. It was mostly in Zamunda, so just showing off, giving it, giving that more space. I like how they kind of tied a lot of things together from the old movie.
Yep.
Like I can go into spoiler stuff. Right?
Yeah, of course. Just a quick moment if we are diving into spoiler territory, especially with this review. So just FYI. But go ahead.
How they kept connected things to the original, like the girl that Akeem made like hop on one foot and bark was Wesley Snipes' sister.
Yes, I thought that was. I thought first of all, I thought that was brilliant that they did that because she was still going. She was still 30 years later. I thought that was hysterical, and and I love the way they tied that in. I like that. That's a great anecdote. Tank. What else did you like about it?
I like how they even though there's no way that they would actually be alive, they brought the barbershop back.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
They were already old.
Right. Yeah. They just happened to be really old at this time.
Yeah.
Which I have a few comments on that too. Okay, so just a few tidbits of why you liked it. Let's move on to Danny. Danny, tell us what you liked about Coming to America.
Oh, the big thing for me was I like the callbacks. I mean, kind of like what Tank was saying there. I mean, the fact that they had a McDonald's in Zamunda now, I couldn't help but laugh my butt off. And they brought Louis Anderson back for that small part there. I mean, I love those tidbits. I appreciate how it kind of respects the original a little bit and kind of lets you know, hey, listen, we appreciate you guys watching this one here.
Oh yeah, like it pays homage to what came before.
Exactly, that's the word.
Yeah. What else did you like about it?
Well, I mean, I don't know if we really want to get into our thoughts and reviews on the entire movie, or we're just kind of talking about.
Well, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk about what you liked first, because we want to do this civilized, okay? Because I already know you're chomping at the bit. If y'all didn't know already, he's chomping at the bit to start critiquing. But we're just talking about what's good first, okay? So if you don't have anything else to say about it being good, we can move on.
I got some more there. I will say, like, for me, one of my favorites from the new movie, one of the new characters, was Leslie Jones.
Okay.
Leslie Jones playing Lavelle's mom. I mean, I love her. She's one of my favorite comedians. I've been watching her since Saturday Night Live, and anytime she's on the screen, she says something like, I don't know, I'm a sucker for her. I just laugh at everything she says. She's just great.
That's great. She's great. She's like the same character all the time, but she plays it so well.
Thank you.
That doesn't even matter that she's the same character because she plays it so well.
I agree.
Yeah, and then Tracy Morgan as his uncle. I love Tracy Morgan as well too. So, like, you can really tell some like the newer actors who came into it were excited to be in a Coming to America movie. You know what I mean? Like, they really wanted to do well.
Yeah.
I think they knocked it out the park.
Yeah. I agree with you there. A quick point. I thought the Leslie Jones character was awesome. I thought she was hysterical. I'm just gonna say the scene in the bathtub. Keep in mind, there wasn't R this time; it was a PG. But I mean, I don't know how that was really skirting the line there with the R with that scene. I thought it was hysterical.
It was suggestive.
Yeah. It was very suggestive. Come on now. But I thought it was hysterical. I loved it. The other part I was going to say, and here's a fun fact, everybody. For those of you that are just joining, welcome to the House of Fandom. We are reviewing Coming to America 2. The part that I really enjoyed, Tank and Danny, was the fact that they brought in Tracy Morgan. Tracy Morgan has made a ton of praise towards Eddie Murphy and how Eddie Murphy inspired him. And I think this has been his dream to actually star with Eddie Murphy. But just to let you guys know, when they were developing it early on, over a decade ago, they were looking at actually Tracy Morgan being his son. So there's a fun fact that didn't come to fruition because of delays, and then the scripts get changed and everything. But then he, of course, ended up being the uncle of the guy.
Yeah, I didn't know that. How old is Tracy Morgan now?
Yeah, he looks older than.
Yeah, Eddie looks great. What are you talking about?
Listen. Come on, listen. Tracy Morgan has been through some shit, okay? You just take it easy on Tracy Morgan, all right? He's been through some stuff. Listen, he's been through some stuff. Okay, well, listen.
That's more how good Eddie Murphy looks.
Yes, absolutely. All right, I'll tell you what. Tracy Morgan. Let's look at Tracy Morgan age. Maybe you guys might get it before I do. But I am showing that he is 52 years old. And Eddie Murphy is 59 years old.
So, yeah.
That's not that big a difference. Come on.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's that big of a difference either. But what I'm saying is...
It can't work for him to be a
son.
son.
Right, well, that's what I was just going to say. Obviously, that would have not played well. He doesn't play young, okay? No. Tracy Morgan doesn't play young, especially now. I'm going to get her pregnant.
Yeah, I unanimously disagree with that. How about that?
Yeah, but he ended up, but actually read that in the Hollywood Reporter. I was going through some articles about Coming to America and how, here's some interesting, and I won't dive too much into it, but Eddie Murphy and the producers were sued by a guy named Art Botchwold about the story about the Prince Hakeem and, how it came to fruition. And what's interesting is that they actually do a shout out to him and his estate, because he has since passed away, even though he sued the shit out of them. And if you ever have a chance to read it, it's an amazing, crazy twist and turns about how Hollywood works. And if I just talk to you and say something to you and say, hey, wouldn't this be a cool story? All of a sudden, I should be paid $10 million because I said one statement like that. That didn't even outline it, but very interesting story that happened there back in the first Coming to America. Now, getting back to Coming to America 2. I'm going to tell you what I liked. I loved the nostalgia. I thought the nostalgia was great. It was so cool that they went back in time, but I really enjoyed when they brought those characters that were there before. The barking dog, hop on one leg. I loved that. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this, but the two twins, those were the twins from the original at the end when they came in. Her name is Peaches, and I'm the best. Other DJs love to feel my, what. Anyway, sorry, I get a kick out of it. Can you tell I'm getting a kick out of it? No, seriously, I thought that was hysterical. I loved it. I don't know how you could not smile when they brought En Vogue in and all those different 90s, 80s singers when the king wanted his funeral to be before he died. Okay, that was hysterical. I loved that. I loved when they went back to New York and came back. But what also I loved about it was it had heart. It had a really, the story was, it had heart. And one of the things I want people to remember, okay, because I've been hearing a lot of people complain about, the plot was kind of crazy, or it didn't really make, a lot of sense, and it just seemed off right field. And then some other people saying, how can they get in a jet and this and that, just crazy stuff. Well, I'm here to tell you, the movie is about a prince that comes to Queens to find his bride. Okay, so let's not think that we're talking Shakespeare here. Okay, we're talking about Coming to America, one of the classics of the 80s, one of Eddie Murphy's best movies in my opinion. But I really thought the second one had a lot of heart, and also it brought a lot of people back in, and it just, for me, the nostalgia really got to me. Now, might have been corrupted by my overly sensitive nostalgia, perhaps, but I also found a lot of moments and beats of the film to be funny and to be heartwarming and to be cool to see these guys come back. And I thought the cast was having a great time. And to be honest with you, that goes a long way. And me and my wife and I enjoyed it thoroughly, those scenes that we were just talking about. So that just telling you what I liked about the film. Now, that said, let's talk about what we didn't like about Coming to America 2. Tank, kick us off.
Honestly, there wasn't anything that I particularly disliked about it. I mean, it wasn't as good as the original, but what many sequels aren't. I mean, but there wasn't really anything that I didn't like about it. I mean, it was predictable because it's as soon as the Veil met the barber chick, I was like, that's who he's going to marry. So yeah, it was predictable, but like I said, most movies are nowadays. Only thing that caught me off guard was when Hakeem first went to meet LaVelle, the way they hesitated really made me think that it was going to come out that he wasn't really his son. Because they all, cool. I don't know if you all caught that. Yeah, they all hesitated, yeah, that's your son, that's your son.
Yep.
So I thought that would come at the end. So when that didn't happen, I was like, oh, that would have been a good side story. But it didn't. But yeah, but overall I liked it. It wasn't, I laughed a lot. It wasn't good the first one, but there wasn't anything glaringly that I didn't like about it.
All right, Danny, what is your? You want to get your list out?
No, no. I mean, listen. I mean, the movie wasn't terrible, right? It just, the expectation was higher because, Coming to America is it's a cult classic.
Not a cult classic, a classic. I mean, it really is.
Well, which it was.
I mean, it was huge box office wise.
Okay, so the bar's even higher.
Oh yeah,
because you call it a full on
completely,
classic, right?
Completely.
Okay, no problem. Cool. So I mean, for me, it was just I got to see the first movie. And then I went right into the second movie. So everything was totally fresh to me. I mean, I went from 2 hours of laughing my butt off to I just saw this. The gags were kind of like a greatest hits, if you will, of what was good about the first movie. But they didn't hit. I think the thing that I noticed the most was, and maybe it's just me personally, the fact that it was PG-13. And there was no R rating, there was no F-bombs. Some of the funniest jokes in the first movie that I laughed my ass off on was some of those F-bombs they did. That scene when Akeem is on the balcony when he gets his apartment and he tells everybody hey, I'm here, and the guy in the back was like, fuck you. He goes yes, fuck you too. How do you not laugh?
Hello, my neighbors! Hello!
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's so funny there. I mean, so I felt like that kind of hurt it a little bit there, and that might just be, this Eddie Murphy doesn't like to do that style of comedy anymore, that raunchy, if you will. And the other thing, I was bummed out because one of my favorite parts of the first movie was Arsenio Hall's character. I loved Arsenio Hall in that movie. I mean, what was his name? Semi? I believe that's how you pronounce his name, Semi?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You barely saw Semi in this movie. I mean, you got to see some of his characters that he plays, but, he just kind of sticks his head in. Watch it over again if you don't agree with me. He'll show up for a couple times, but in the first movie, he was with Akeem the entire time. And the end when, Eddie goes back to Queens to find Lavella, where was Semi? You know what I mean? He seemed like he was missing out of a lot of scenes. I just felt like he just did a lot of more of his characters, and I didn't see him as much in the movie, forefront like he was in the first one.
I mean, listen, if I may, I interject. I disagree with that statement only because if you're looking at the way the movie progressed, I felt like he was in the movie probably as much as Eddie Murphy, and then also Eddie Murphy's character said to watch over his family because of what was going on with General whatever his name is, Wesley Snipes' character.
Izzy.
Right.
Yeah, Izzy.
So for me, I felt like that was part of the whole plot, for him to protect the family, and then he ends up protecting the family. So it kind of set it up that way. I felt that, and then I thought he was spot on with all of the characters again, and then the new character that he portrayed, the guy, the shaman, cutting off the, that guy, that was hilarious, dude. I died. It was so funny because it was just the way you really thought that it was like really, really like he was holding on to. I'm not even gonna say it, but you know what I'm saying. But I thought it was funny. I thought that he was in it quite a bit, actually. I mean, he got second billing behind Eddie Murphy in the film, and I think he was in there for the majority of the time. You just have to remember that that was a job Eddie Murphy had to do as far as going back and recovering his son and talking to his son. And so for me, it made sense for Semi to protect the family like he's always done with Eddie Murphy, protecting the interests of the king. And so that I felt like that worked for me. I mean, I don't know if I agree completely in that fact that he was underutilized. I felt like he was, but I also know that it was a very singular film where it was the first one where it was focused on that character going to the United States. So this one had a lot of things going on, and I think that was part of the problems I had. Some of the problems that you were really trying to stuff everything in, right? Stuff everything in the kitchen sink. So I agree that maybe that might have been a problem because you're taking away from all the other characters that we already know and love. So that's my thoughts.
Clark, you bring up a good point there, Clark. And Tank, you answer too. I mean, jump in if you feel I'm wrong here. But like when you're kind of watching a movie, though, I mean, kind of looking at like the plot itself and how it's going, doesn't it feel like Coming to America 1.5 instead of a true number 2? Because if you think about it, I mean, they're doing the same plot that they did in the first movie. Only the character's Lavelle is his son that he randomly had this one. Which, by the way, that scene was great. By the way, when they did the CGI,
I thought it was great. I thought it was great.
I'll give credit.
Yeah, the credit. The scene was great. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but like, I mean, I don't think I really needed to see like someone go through the whole process again. I mean, honestly, I like the idea that instead of him having a son, he had girls instead, and I felt like they could have got a little bit more focal point. Like, what was the oldest girl? I think her name was Mika. Was her name Mika? I think it was.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I feel like Mika was a really good character, and I thought it could have like focused on helping her become queen instead of finding another random son.
Well,
even though it ended well.
Yeah,
it ended well for her.
Yeah, I disagree again. I mean, I'm sorry. I want to understand your point of view and kind of find a common ground, Danny. But the fact of the matter is, let's go through and make sure that you didn't fall asleep and watching Coming to America too. But the daughter was the focal point of the entire plot device, as far as the fact that why was Eddie Murphy focusing so much on a man to become king when he had his daughter who was so strong and so loyal and so primed to be the ruler of the kingdom, you know what I mean? The successor, the heir. And then also too, focusing in on her character, and watching how her character felt slighted by her father, but also like connecting with her brother in the few scenes that they were together, with the lion, and as well as working with him, in different points of the film. And so and then beating Wesley Snipes' ass. So I don't know how much more you wanted. I mean, you remember this is an ensemble comedy and has to serve a bunch of characters. And let me finish, the legacy characters, and then serve the new characters. So I disagree with your assessment because I mean, you want the movie to be 3 hours long? It's a comedy for crying out loud.
Well, no one's going that far. But let's kind of unpack what you're saying here. I think you're missing the point of what I'm saying here. I think the whole storyline, the subplot with Lavelle was kind of unnecessary because we just got that in the first movie. I mean, it's basically a way to get them to come back to America. Okay, I get that there. But what I'm saying is, as far as like, it would have been, in my opinion, a lot cooler if we just spent the whole time in Zamunda. You know what I mean? And just focus on the family there. I thought Mika was great.
But they did. They did. All right, but you know what? All right, I'm gonna listen. Tank, please. we would love to hear your opinion on this. Doesn't matter whose side you fall on here, but what is your opinion on this? Because I guess I'm missing. Did we watch the same movie, Danny? Did you fall asleep?
I don't think we did.
I mean, do I need to get receipts here that you watched this movie?
Lavelle was hands down the weakest part
Okay,
of the
well,
movie. I'm gonna stick to my guns on
that's fine, but the majority of the movie was in Zamunda. So, I mean, I don't know what movie you were watching because New York scenes were literally under 10 minutes long of the entire movie. And if you want, we can rewind the tape.
That's my point, though. Like, did we really have to go back to New York, though? Like, was it that vital to this story?
It was. That's why it was only a short period of time for him to find his prince, his son.
Well, why did he have... Okay, but I'm saying, let's say you take that whole subplot out for 1 second. Do you think
have no movie?
The movie... Yeah, you think you have no movie?
Well, what is the movie going to be about?
Well, just what it's like to be living in Zamunda. You know what I mean? To say, hey, instead of him having a son, look, he's raising a queen instead. You know what I mean?
Sorry, bro. That would be a boring movie. I'm sorry. And listen, listen respectfully, Danny. I completely disagree with you. And listen, we could go on and on, but I want to hear what Tank has to say. And some of the viewers are asking for his opinion as well. So go ahead, Tank. Please help us land this plane because me and Danny are literally fighting for controls of the cockpit.
Ooh.
I see what like I said, it wasn't a glaring issue for me, but I see where Danny's coming from. It's pretty much a reverse of the first one. Akeem went to America to find his bride. He got Lavelle. He comes to Zamunda and gets his queen, his bride. So it really is just the same story, just a reverse. I understand what you're saying. Like I would like his oldest daughter. Yeah, she was part of it, but a lot of her her issues are where she was fighting. It was all nonverbal. Like she would just show like when he first brought Lavelle in, she didn't really say anything. She just got up and walked away. So I think there's that whole subplot. There was a very small subplot where Akeem was supposed to be a change in how Zamunda worked. But
exactly. Thank you.
But now his oldest daughter, who is obviously been bred and groomed and could be the queen, the queen of Zamunda on her own and rule Zamunda. Mm-hmm. She's perfectly good to do it, but because he didn't do anything to fight their whole patriarch of only a man could be a king, could be a ruler, she can't do it. Yeah. And so that's a whole other subplot that they talked about a little bit, but they didn't go into
so fleshing it out.
Akeem not doing it. Akeem didn't do anything he said he was going to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with that, dude. I mean, listen, I guess it was the way you were explaining it. I didn't kind of put two and two together as far as you wanting to flesh out the character even more. So, I definitely understand what you're saying as far as having the character not just be one note. And be just Tank so eloquently said, nonverbal. You know what I mean? So I agree there. I do disagree, however, with the whole going back to New York and everything. You act like they were going there for it literally was a few minutes here, a few minutes there. They did not spend a lot of time there. You said that you wanted them. Let me just quote what you said. We can roll back the tape later, but you did say you said. Quote, I wish they would have spent more time in Zamunda. Hello, the whole movie is pretty much in Zamunda. They had to go a couple of places, so I don't know what you're talking about there, buddy.
How about this for 1 second? Instead of coming to America 2, they should have called it going to Zamunda. That would have been perfectly fine. Why not? Just carry the story on. Because Tank hit on a good point, if you really want to get into this here. Akeem in the first movie, he didn't want to get married to a woman that was picked for him. That's the whole point of him going to Queens in the first place, coming to America, right? So when his parents, everybody, they kind of came to, all right, you can marry whoever you want. She doesn't have to be royalty, whatever like that. And that was the whole more of that story. So, we're coming back to this movie 30 years later, and he's going through the same thing in a way where now this time he has to pick a male heir instead. And he got lucky because he had that one nice, I don't know. I just felt like it didn't seem like character for Akeem. From the first movie, it seemed like you would think he would have grown into this really wise.
Well, I agree with that statement. I completely agree with you there. That is a very good a very good observation. I do think that it was almost like, what the hell happened? Like, he was so like, he was such a optimist, and he was so like amazing that, hey, why would he not be every bit the king we thought he was going to be, right? But I don't know. I mean, listen, it's not Shakespeare here. We're talking about Coming to America, gentlemen. All right. I do want to say, I definitely see your point, Danny. And again, I didn't mean to be hard on you. I was really concerned you didn't watch the same movie we did, but you came back and listen, thank you. I saw it. I don't know if
Rotten Tomatoes
did you guys listen? Did you see? Did you see Airplane? I felt like Tank came into the cockpit and it was like, gentlemen, hold on, let's just land the damn plane first, right? Because you guys are arguing and we're gonna crash, but we're gonna run out of fuel. But I definitely agree with what you were saying, Danny, as far as the points you were trying to bring up. Valid points. I do want to tell you though. Just kind of moving along here. I really love that they had that Easter egg. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but Danny, you referred to the Dukes from Trading Places in the first movie, the two old men. I don't know if you knew this, Tank, but have you ever watched Trading Places?
It's a long time ago.
Okay, well, the two men that were in the two bums, those were the original guys from the old guys, the rich billionaires from Trading Places that they bet $1 that they can take Dan Aykroyd's character from being rich and put him into the ghetto, and take Eddie Murphy's character from the ghetto and make him a huge stockbroker and run the whole company. And so they bet $1, but if you haven't seen Trading, let me just say, if you haven't seen Trading Places again, you need to see Trading Places for more than one reason. Anyway, but let me just say this. Did you guys notice that there was an Easter egg about the Duke brothers in the newest Coming to America? Oh, you guys missed it. Okay, you ready? When Lavelle went to interview and the guy looked at the painting, he says, I bet that was a Duke. That was it. He inherited the company. So that was right. The guy from Saturday Night Live. And so wasn't that cool? Like, you find these different things, and I was like, holy shit, they just showed the picture of the Dukes. What's his name? Marvin and Duke and the other Duke, whatever Duke, but he was the great grandson, and he said, "Oh, this is my grandfather's or my grandfather or something along this line." So I just thought that was a nice, Trading Places ode. Here's another fun fact, and then we'll start wrapping things up. But did you guys know that they were going to film the Nutty Professor character, the Clumps, at the end scene, and have the Clumps there at the party in Zamunda?
I'm glad that
you're like, no, don't do it. You're gonna freaking jump the shark.
Nothing against Galactic Professor, but we just that would have been unneeded and purposeless.
Yeah, well, that I heard that, and it was actually Eddie Murphy and Arsenio Hall who talked about it. Who had said that they were going to actually film it, and they were very close to doing so. And then the two other fun facts that I think you guys will enjoy. One was the Eric LaSalle character, the guy who played the King of Soul Glow. The piece of the jerk of Lisa's boyfriend. He was going to be Soul Grow because he loses all his hair, and so he creates this thing called Soul Grow. But he declined to come back, and so they didn't film it. So that was another one. And then finally, I don't know if you guys knew this, but I know, Danny, you brought this up. The only white comic in the film, it was of any significance in the first one, was the comic that you brought up. What was the name of that comic again? Louis Anderson. And so Eddie Murphy and Arsenio were doing recent interviews talking about how Paramount Pictures forced them to hire a white person in the film. And so that's the only sole actual white person of significance in the movie. And I thought that was interesting. Of course, they brought him back, because why not? You know what I mean? And it was a great role. I would have loved to see Samuel L. Jackson Because
Finally, you and I can agree tonight,
first of all, what are you looking at to the poor kid? That was crazy. Yo,
how awesome would it be if he actually robbed the new McDonald's in Zumba? How funny would that been?
I would have died. I would have died, dude, if they would have brought him in. First of all, they got Morgan Freeman, so you know they paid Morgan Freeman for that cameo in the beginning of the movie. So you know it would have been awesome to have Samuel L. Jackson. But here's the thing. Samuel L. Jackson has gone on record. He didn't, he really felt like, stereotypical, they put me in a stereotypical role. He didn't really, he was just hungry, a hungry actor. But just to see how big he became from that role. You know what I mean? When Eddie Murphy was a huge star at the time, but obviously Samuel L. Jackson is a huge star as well, equal, I believe, to Eddie Murphy in many ways as far as like the exposure. You know what I mean? But
a lot of people got some big roles and had some nice careers after that.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. So again, so in closing, with our review, I'll be honest with you, I enjoyed it quite a bit. It kind of made me sentimental, and maybe that's why I enjoyed it so much, because I remember being on the set. I remember watching it in the movie theaters when it came out in the summer the following year. And so for me, it really meant a lot to see it again. My wife loved it. We had a good time. We had a, date night watching it. And so I thought it was pretty cool. That's what I'm going to say. And I like seeing the characters again, and I cheered, and I watched it to the very end. And this should not go without saying, I thought they killed it with those characters again, bringing those characters back that they portrayed. And one of the things I do want to point out, that one of the characters, that old guy's still alive. So technically those guys could still be alive, because the one actor that was part of the barber scene, that's not Eddie Murphy or Arsenio Hall, he was brought back and he's still alive. So I think it's very possible that they would be alive, since that guy's still alive.
Was he as old as he is?
Oh, if you saw him back then, he was just like he worked with those guys. He was old and not old, but oldish.
Because they look like they was already in their 80s. So
thank you.
Oh, achna. But I thought it was hilarious. When I first found out that Eddie Murphy played the Jewish guy Saul, I could not believe it when they watched the credits. I don't know, did you guys watch the credits at the end when Saul is talking to the shaman played by Arsenio Hall and telling the joke? If you watch the very last credit, the last scene is Eddie Murphy, and if you haven't seen it, because a lot of people may not have waited to the very end to watch it, it's hilarious. You gotta take a look at it.
I'll take a look. I'll admit I didn't watch it.
See, yeah,
I turned it off afterwards.
See, years of Marvel movies, I wait to credits on any movie.
Thank you.
Just because of Marvel.
Well, Danny knows better too. I mean, I don't know what but I just think, Danny, you didn't love it, and that's fine. You know what I mean? We know you didn't like it. Or did you like it? Would you say that you enjoyed it, or do you feel like you lost an hour and 45 minutes of your life?
Listen, we're in a pandemic. Movie theaters ain't open. I'll take what I can get. But if you ask me, hey, listen, I just saw one of the funniest movies I've seen in a long time that I was laughing my ass off. And then I saw the sequel. I was like, man, I really wanted you to.
Well, I think that was your mistake, too, watching it back to back, because it's hard to.
I thought in my head, I thought it was going to be a good thing just to get, it's all fresh. But, man, I just had steak over there. Now I have meatloaf. Sorry,
Yeah, so it might have been better if you did watched it spaced it out.
I agree.
Like I did, maybe watched it a month before.
Yeah,
I agree completely. Maybe. But another fun fact, and then we'll start wrapping up. I know we said this already, but we started off rocky, but we're finishing off strong. Amazon Prime paid $125 million for the distribution rights to stream it firsthand. The movie cost about $60 million to make, but Eddie Murphy made $35 million for the sequel. So yeah, he's making a lot of money still.
All those cameos they had in there, and that was only worth $30 million. All the cameos.
Well, no, he got $35 million himself.
That's what I'm saying. Right, so all the other cameos, the rest of the budget.
I mean, listen. All I can tell you is not many. I think maybe 2%, if any, maybe a handful of people still command 20 million plus paychecks. So I think Eddie Murphy's doing something right. That's for sure. Yeah. All right, gentlemen. So we have talked about it. I enjoyed it. Tank, sounds like you enjoyed it for the most part. Yeah. Danny, wanted to love it, but
Could have been better.
Could have been better.
It could have been
Thanks
better.
for being the joy killer. All right, so I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Gotta keep it real with the
Yeah,
audience.
hey,
man. You know
listen,
anything.
100%. Speaking of which, thank you everyone for sticking by. We had a lot of problems earlier on, and I think that's why I ended up staying on a little bit longer. But I just want to make sure that, we were able to, recover. I think we had a great show. Definitely appreciate Tank and Danny joining us once again. We're going to continue to get better. We do have a great show coming up next week. I mean, it is going to be, this is what we've all been waiting for. This is where Tank and me and Danny and I and Mello and Kyle, we're going to shine because we have been waiting to consume this film the real way, the way it was intended by the director. And for me, I am so freaking excited about it, and I pray that it's good because then we're gonna hear Danny and his bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just kidding.
Oh man, this is all the hate from today.
Danny, I'm just listen. I'm busting chops here. I'm busting chops.
I'm starting burning up production.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. The audience knows I'm
it's all love,
yeah.
baby, it's all
You know it's all love, man. But we are going to dive deep, gentlemen, and this is going to be one where we're going to have a whole crew talking through this whole thing because believe me, there are so many people that are going to be watching it that we're going to be like, whoa, this is going to be like either epic or we're going to be talking with frowns the entire time going, man, if only, you know what I mean? But I'll be honest with you, I'm very hopeful because when you think about it, if we're comparing it to the Justice League we got, it was an inferior effort, when you consider what we expected. If you're watching the themes of Batman versus Superman, things like that, you expect that raw, like realistic, comic book adaptation. It kind of went a little awry with the different things that came out. The product Suicide Squad wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. Wonder Woman was great. Wonder Woman 1984 was a complete shitbag of a movie. I was so disappointed in that one. That to me was more of a disappointment than the Justice League because I expected there was going to be problems. Would you agree, Tank?
If I would have saw that movie in the theaters,
I would have been so mad.
I
would have been
so.
I would have been mad too. I was disappointed. Danny, you were disappointed in it too, right?
I was, but I'm laughing. I'm just saying to myself, "Oh, sounds like Coming to America." Okay. But no, that's cool. It's your opinion, so we must.
Well, listen, I expected a lot with Wonder Woman that came out 3 years before, okay? But yeah. But 1984 was a shitbag of a film. I was so disappointed. But for me, this is fandom. This is what fandom's all about. The Snyder Cut has been the grassroots effort to get this director's vision out there. And it just goes to show you what the power of fandom has to make things happen like this. I mean, he got $75 million to do the reshoots, to do the special effects, to get everything the way we hopefully will be talking about for years to come. And I will point this out. I am hearing that executives at Warner Brothers Media and HBO Max are talking two different things. And I want to say this here and go on record. One, I believe we have not seen the last of Henry Cavill as Superman. And I will tell you that my sources in Hollywood, and they haven't failed me, are telling me that there will be a film with him in it as Superman. I believe that if this Justice League movie goes as well as we're hoping, there may be more Justice Leagues with Zack Snyder. It may be in their own universe, but I believe that might happen as well. And then also, did you guys hear that the J.J. Abrams and the screenwriter went on record that this is a whole new Superman character? So this is not Kal-El. This is not the other character. This is a completely new character. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what the fudge? Well,
not in the comics,
new.
So he's not going to be the president either.
Nobody.
Like that in those storylines.
All new creation to take on the mantle of a Superman. What does that mean? You know what I mean? So it's not the Superman we all know. So that's why people were jumping the gun saying that Henry Cavill was done. I do not believe Henry Cavill's done. My sources are saying that he will return as Superman, and we're going to hear something about it very soon. So I wanted to say that on record because everybody thinks that I'm full of shit when it comes to my sources, but I'm telling you that Henry Cavill will return as Superman, and I'm telling you that we may get more Justice League movies.
Well, I have some sources too there, Clark, and they tell me J.J. Abrams is going to use as many lens flares as possible during the filming of his version of Superman, so I'm excited. Said no one ever.
Hey, don't hate on J.J. Abrams and his lens flares. All right, boys, we have gone really past it, but there's still people there listening with us. So I would just want to call out a few things. Tuesdays, we have our brothers Vic and Sammy with the Townie Sports. They had a great show on Tuesday. A lot of people were on the live chat, had a great time. They had Kirk Cooks as a guest. They talked about March Madness. If you guys are interested in March Madness and NBA or any of those sports related stuff, next week they're doing, I guess, the bracket. So if you guys want to make some money or whatever, apparently these guys know their stuff. So they'll be on next week. So if you guys have a chance, tune into Townie Sports on Tuesday. And then, of course, we're not doing a show until Friday. We all know why. We are gonna get it on. So I hope you boys aren't going to the clubs on Friday. I hope you're not, Danny. I hope you don't have a date night on Friday because, gentlemen, it is going to be on Friday. We have to get on there. We're not going to go through the entire review. We're going to cover the first segment of it, which I'm still trying to develop, but it'll be in chapters just like the movie will be in chapters. So do I have your commitment? Danny, I'm talking to you.
Oh, you're talking to me?
No, I'm talking to your Aunt Paul.
You know, last time I checked, Tank's here too, man. You could have just threw the question to him, but yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
I'll see what I'm doing today. It might be lasagna. Who knows?
Tank, are you down to rock with us or what?
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah, I'm down.
Dude, it's gonna be amazing. We have so much shit to talk about when this comes out. I'm really excited about it. So we have a lot to talk about next week. So you guys keep in mind, we're going to have a special House of Fandom Justice League premiere episode next Friday. Did you guys know they're doing a watch party with Zack Snyder? Did you guys know that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard about
they're
that.
doing this. I wouldn't want to do it because I don't want to be distracted. You know what I mean? Like, it's all cool and everything, but I want to watch the movie. I don't want to be talking.
Oh, no, I called him. He just returned any microphone calls. So, couldn't get the scoop.
All right, good stuff. Before we cue out to the music being played is by our very own Sammy Sandstorm. He goes by, and so we like to do local talent around these parts. Real quick, whatever they call it, Red Robin or whatever. Tank, you got anything you want to talk about before we get going?
I'm good. I mean, I mean, I'm just ready to go. I'm just ready to like I said last week. I'm be there.
Oh, dude, I know you're gonna be. You won't sleep. Did you call? Are you gonna take off for work? Are you gonna be able to like handle that?
I thought about it, but I'm low on time, and it doesn't reset till July, so I got to save.
All right, well, just be careful.
I'll just go to work time. It'll be Friday.
Right.
I'm not going to work hard on Friday. I'm just going to work time.
There we go.
Hey, do we got an official time of when it drops? What time is it going to be? 12 p.m. Eastern time, or what time? That's
a good point. Do you have any update on that? Moira says round robin. Yes, Moira. Thank you so much for sticking with us as well. And you are correct, round robin. I said it wrong. Thanks for pointing it out. Appreciate it. To take
Moira's my new favorite person.
I know, right?
Shout out.
I don't know, like, who is this Moira girl? Oh goodness. But no, we appreciate you, Moira. Thank you so much. And
we do.
We appreciate it. But do we know, Tank, about that? Is it gonna drop right away? Or from what I'm hearing, it might drop in the afternoon. Is that what we're hearing?
I don't know. I'm looking right now to see if it shows.
And welcome, Dave O'Donnell. Welcome. Very good friend of the House of Fandom. We appreciate you guys. And Moira says, I'm here all night to correct our grammar. Oh, isn't that wonderful? Oh, boy. Here we go. Oh, man. So, Tank, any
No.
Okay.
Does it just says the day? Doesn't say anything about the time.
All right. Well, listen, we'll find out. But we got so much to talk about then. I'm so excited about it. Everybody who has joined, who has stood out with us, Maura, John, Dave, O'Donnell, my dear friend, all the people that came on today to listen to the House of Fandom, Stephanie D, who was really helping out with the sound issues we were having and making sure we were good to go. My two dear friends over here from Detroit, Michigan, one and only Tank, and from Florida, Danny. Gentlemen, next week it is going to be on. I'm your host, Clark, on the check-in live from Florida, and you have listened to another episode of the House of Fandom. Everyone have a great night.
Put your hands up.
Like and subscribe. Lights Up Productions.
Stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy. You know how I do, yeah. Stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy. You know how I do, yeah. Stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy. You know how I do, yeah. Stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy. You know how I do, yeah. Stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy. I'm stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy. I'm stuntin' on my grizzy. Come in the club, yeah, I'm high as height. Seeing all the flashing lights, it's Vegas night. Step through, suited up like a crime fight. You know that I wanna leave with a dime, right? Spanish, Latina, tengo la llave. On a road, Cap G, you can come find me. VIP drinks free, that's where I be. Yeah, I roll with them boys, not Tommy. Straight tone, got me in the zone. You texting your man, once you get off the phone. I'm in here looking for a dime to phone and tell him I can spit on some reggaeton. Stuntin' on my grizzy, stuntin' on my grizzy. You know how I do, yeah, stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy, stuntin' on my grizzy. You know how I do, yeah, stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy, stuntin' on my grizzy. You know how I do, yeah, stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy, stuntin' on my grizzy. You know how I do, yeah, stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy, I'm stuntin' on my grizzy, stuntin' on my grizzy, I'm stuntin' on my grizzy,
Oye, dime quién responde, ese culo tuyo enorme. Freca necia, cara bonita, labio de fresa. Y yo vine para atrás, chequea este flow que te no he copiado nada. Avisando no más greasy, tengo un par de tipas que no lo fuerza tan easy. Dame un beso, olvídate de eso, lo que quiero es sexo. Estoy en el bloque, prendo un Dodge y me voy en el coche. Regresé con mi equipo blanco, peligroso, no perico. A lot of niggas con mi chico, cara bonita, no sencillo. Muchos me dicen clásico, es peligroso, un maniático. Y todos ustedes son mi hijo, cause I make it look easy, frito.
Stuntin' on my grizzy, stuntin' on my grizzy. You know how I do, yeah, stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy, stuntin' on my grizzy. You know how I do, yeah, stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy, stuntin' on my grizzy. You know how I do, yeah, stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy, stuntin' on my grizzy. You know how I do, yeah, stuntin' on my grizzy. Stuntin' on my grizzy, I'm stuntin' on my grizzy, stuntin' on my grizzy, I'm stuntin' on my grizzy,
Yeah.
Hey class, they ain't hear nothing like this.
Hell no, my nigga.
Yeah. That's when the different cultures collide.
They know.
Yeah. Sandstorm, classical. Yeah, man. Shout out to Cam, Daryl, oh boy Matt, D Money, Single Dollar, the whole Skywalking crew. Hey, what up, Bangs? We here now,
Yes, we are.
so come find us.
Yeah.
Tú lo sabes.
We're the building. SCKGs, nigga. If you don't like it, no te lo comas.